So I'm putting in the Dometic Heki Midi Skylight today into my 2014 Sprinter van. Here's my 2014 Sprinter van. It's one of the many steps taking Dometic Heki Midi Skylight. Not the biggest you can get, but great for over top of the bed. I'm giving this a go myself today. Usually my partner helps out, but our efforts are split. You can see the back of the van. We just finished framing the bed, but before we do much more of that, I'm going to put in that skylight, just because whenever you cut into the van, there's quite a bit of metal shavings, and it'd be nice to never cut into the van again once the bed frame and the cupboards are beginning to get done. It's a lot of vacuuming, and metal shards are not great to have hanging around for any length of time. So what's involved in this? Well, a big process that I've already accomplished, and part of that is, I'll show you my notes. This is a good piece. So what I've done so far is measure the cutout from the center of the van, and that took a while. I did that at least 4 times and corrected a couple of lines, and nailed the corners of the proper measurements through from the underside up to the roof. And I'm just about to go up there and pre-drill the corners of the cutout. What I've also done at the moment, I would show you the lines, but before I thought about videoing, I've actually filled, I covered that with plastic. So as you can see, even though yes, I was worried about the metal shards, I'm doing my best to keep the metal shards out of the van. My solar system, which is right here, not good for lots and lots of dust or metal shards to go into my box. I'll do another video about that solar system. It's everything in one box. Got my lithium battery just back there in the white box. So I'm gonna head up there and drill these holes. This measurement's 50 centimeters by 70 centimeters. It's a European measurement because it's a European skylight. And I'll talk a little bit more about the details of that afterwards. So that was a bit of a rush, just drilling a hole into the roof. I'm gonna show you what that looks like right now. Hopefully you can see that. It looks pretty good. That was scary to do. Now I'm gonna jigsaw. Put the tape down and then I'll jigsaw. See you soon. And here is my cutout traced. I'm about to drill the first hole that will start me off for the jigsaw. Got my drill piece there. Let's hope that one works nicely. And I'm going to put on this tape before I do that. So I'm on the roof of the van now. I'm about to trace the lines for the cutout and place some tape around those lines so that when I'm using the jigsaw, it doesn't scrape up the top of the van so much. And I've got my alcohol, a little bit of cleaner. This is actually a good rust cleaner I've heard good things about. It's a rust remover, but I'm going to be using that on other things. For now, it'll be the alcohol, and then I'll use the file to file down the edges of the cutout. So let's see how this goes. And I thought you'd like a shot of the cutout. I'm just trimming a couple of the corners, but the cutout has been done. I had my trusty piece of plastic catching all the shards, and there's the cutout. And the next will be, after I trim these, put the skylight in, see if I did it right. Yay! And so from the inside, there's the hole. Looking pretty good. Now, the moment of truth. I'm just gonna sweep some of those shards off the ceiling and see if the skylight fits. Success. This is what success looks like. Look at that. And there's didn't even have a trial run. Yay! It's not fixed in yet, but my hole worked. My measurements were right. And ready to work on sealing it up. So this is fun. And so I've gone through a step or two without you. I did the sealing around the skylight hole with butyl tape, and then I used, where's the stuff that I used? Dynaflex Ultra to put around the frame of the skylight, and putting the skylight in felt a little bit messy, but look at that. It's now got a towel and some weight sitting on it while the ceiling around the edges cures a little bit. It's looking really good. And the next step will be to figure out how to put on the bottom piece of the frame. Not sure if I've got extra work to do in terms of putting a wood frame around that, but right now it's in there. It looks really good. I can't see any air pockets around the edges, and it's gonna rain tonight, so that will be the test. So once the skylight was fixed through the top of the van, I gave you a little shot of that job I did with the butyl tape and the sealant. It was time for me to figure out how to fix the frame from the bottom, and that took a couple of small steps, which I'm going to show you now, involving the clips that come with the van. There are particular metal clips that look like this, or that come with the skylight, as well as these clips that are attached to the bottom of the frame. And in order to attach the bottom of the frame all the way up, what ended up being required was this wooden frame that I ended up cutting and assembling myself. Luckily, my partner is a carpenter, so I picked up a few tips. And so what you see here is a few 1x2s that are cut into the width and length of the skylight. And the clips that came with the skylight are both screwed to the wooden frame as well as screwed to the upper frame of the skylight. And the small clips that are on the bottom end of the frame actually slip in here when you attach the frame up. So what I ended up doing was not only cutting these so that they fit kind of straight up to the wall or the ceiling of the van, but I ended up also putting small braces at the corners just because maybe it's my own cuts as a non-carpenter, maybe it's the nature of the wood that I had. When I tightened these actual screws into the clips, it would end up pulling the wood, and the wood would be kind of on an angle and didn't make it possible for the bottom frame to easily fit into these clips. So I kind of stabilized the frame using these brackets, and I did it all the way around. And then once you screw these clips in, you notice that the sealing, the sealant or the butyl tape, etc., everything's pulled a little bit tighter, so that worked out really well. And I'm proud to say that it all fits on nicely at this point. More celebrations. And so, with the exception of needing a little bit of work around the edges, the skylight itself is fantastic. So there's what we can enjoy. You can even climb out this skylight onto the roof of your van if you want. It's got a few different height settings, but the frame and everything looks great. We've got fly screen. Everyone loves if you're out camping. And the blackout screen for the morning if you're not an early riser. So I'll review some of the details just as this video closes out. Thanks very much for watching.